Hi, hello, welcome to another video. Today we are going to be doing my January wrap-up and my February TBR. We're going to start off with the books and movies that I read and watched in the month of January. I didn't necessarily do a lot because things were happening in January and I just didn't have time or motivation to do that much. So we're gonna start off with movies because I feel like it right now. I only watched 2 movies in the month of January. The first movie was Captain Marvel. I believe I gave it 3 or 3.5 stars, somewhere around there. I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. I will say that. To be quite honest, I probably wouldn't have watched this movie if it weren't for the fact that it was on TV one night and we just decided what the heck and watched it. But it was decent. The soundtrack, this is probably the first time I will ever say I loved the soundtrack so much more than the movie. Because usually I like a soundtrack and I like a movie equally, but the soundtrack was superior to the movie. That's it. That's just my opinion. After that, I watched Dead Poets Society. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars because it's amazing. I went into it not really knowing a lot. I knew that Robin Williams was in it, and I knew that it had to do with like a boys' academy or something, and that was about it. Because I knew very little about it going into it, I feel like I was not prepared. I was not prepared in the slightest for this film. I don't know how to accurately articulate my thoughts on this movie, so I'm just going to say that it was very good. It deserves all 5 of the stars that I gave it. Go watch it. Go watch it, please. Please. Now, on to the books that I read in January. I did not read a lot of books in January. Are we surprised? No. I read a total of 2 books in January, which according to Goodreads is thereabouts what I need to read. 2.5 books, I think, is what I need to read every month in order to obtain my Goodreads goal, or somewhere around there. I don't remember. The first book that I read in the month of January was The Mermaid's Voice Returns in This One by Amanda Lovelace. I always have trouble remembering the title of that book, and I have no idea why. This is the 3rd and final collection of poetry in the Women Are Some Kind of Magic trilogy by Amanda Lovelace, and it was very, very good. I believe I rated it 5 out of 5 stars. Are we surprised? We shouldn't be, because I'm pretty sure that's what I've given every collection of poetry that I've read of hers so far. I was a little sad to, see the trilogy come to a close, but there's more poetry. She's still doing more. So I'm very excited to read more of her works. The second book that I read in January, in my 2021 reading goals video, I said that I had the goal of reading and completing some series, and one of those series being Ouran High School Host Club by Bisco Hattori. I got started on that. I read volume 1. It's staying at 5 out of 5 stars because as I was reading it, I realized that I had forgotten how good this series was. It was so lighthearted, and there was just so much hijinks and shenanigans, and I loved it. It is the perfect read for, like, if you want something light and nothing that weighs you down with questions of morality or mortality, or I don't know. There's no angst right now in this series, or love and life. I'll try and give you a brief synopsis on this because I feel like that's my duty as a booktuber. So this series follows Haruhi Fujioka. She is a scholarship student at the prestigious Ouran High School, where pretty much the only way you can get in usually is by having a lot of money. So she is somewhat of an anomaly at the school. One day she stumbles into what she presumes to be an empty music room to study. What she finds there is a host club. Surprising, I know. She ends up accidentally breaking a vase that costs a lot of money, and in order to pay off the debt, she ends up working for the host club. And this series is essentially just following all of the hijinks that her and the host club get up to. It's very lighthearted, very fun, highly recommend it. Alrighty, so those are all of the movies and books that I watched and read in the month of January. Now, we're going to get into the books that I would like to try and finish before February is over. This is the shortest month of the year, so I'm not sure how well I'm going to do on that. So the first book that I would like to try and have finished by the end of the month is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I have restarted this. I am now on chapter 13, page 62, and I'm loving every minute of it. I didn't have to read this for school, which is kind of surprising, but I'm choosing to read it now because the one book that I did read by Jane Austen was very good. I really enjoyed it, and so I want to continue on with her other works, starting with Pride and Prejudice. I'm not sure if I am going to finish this by the end of February, just because I tend to go through classics slowly, so that way I make sure that I understand everything that's going on and I'm able to glean whatever I can from the book. So this may take longer than just the next 2 weeks, but oh well. Okay, up next we have volumes 2 and 3 of Ouran High School Host Club. I've already started this one. Hopefully I should be able to finish it in the next week. Alrighty, after that, you may remember that in my 2021 reading goals video, I mentioned that I was in the middle of a collection of John Keats poetry. I'm still in the middle of that collection of John Keats poetry. This is what it looks like, everybody. I'm currently on page 46 out of, I think, 205? Yeah, 205. So I have about 159 pages left, I believe. It's very good. I'm liking it. I do have to go through it slower though, because it's classic poetry, and like I said, I want to make sure I understand everything and I'm able to glean something from it. So hopefully I can finish this by the end of the month. I'm not sure that's going to happen though. And finally, last but not least, the final book that I would like to have finished by the end of February 2021, and that is All This Time by Mickey Daughtry and Rachel Lippincott. Mickey Daughtry and Rachel Lippincott are two of the authors for 5 Feet Apart, which, if you don't know, is one, if not my all-time favorite book. This is their new book that I think they just came out with it last year, like later last year. This is a buddy read with Hannah over on All Things Heaney. We actually buddy read 5 Feet Apart so we could go watch the movie when it came out, because, you know, we had to go watch Cole Sprouse and something. We decided that we wanted to do the same thing for this book. Currently, we're on chapter 8, page 64. So, we're not very far. So far, what I can tell you about this book is we're following Kyle. He is, as of right now, our main character. He has been in a horrible car accident that has left his girlfriend dead and him seriously injured, and now he must deal with the aftermath of this. Try to move on, move forward. I wasn't expecting it to be so heavy right off the bat, but I'm perfectly fine with it, because sometimes we need a good cry fest, and that's okay. Yes. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching me babble on about books that I have read or want to read. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that like button. You can also subscribe down there and hit that little notification bell after you've subscribed, and that will notify you of when I upload new videos. I'm trying to upload at least twice a month, so you get somewhat regular uploads from me. That would be nice. I will see you in my next video.